Welcome. This is really my first webcast or webinar, and I want you to know that as it was before, it wasn't the full, let's say, the whole picture of me. So this webcast or this webinar is going to carry everything about what I'm doing, where I'm going, what I'm about, and I also will be giving you spiritual messages and answering questions. So it really is a complete circle. And while we're on the subject of circle, we also have the inner circle that you can join. So you can log on and join. Today I'd like to talk about healing. And oh, by the way, I do want to tell you that I'm going to be at the Gibson Theater with Montel October 3rd, and we're doing it with Living Well with Montel. So we're both in tandem going to be doing our own take on what makes people healthy. Montel will be 55, and he has lived with MS for 25 years. And I want you to just notice how well he looks. I will be 73 in October. So I think we're some kind of example of that you can live well and be vital. I've always said, though, that the mind is the healer and the mind is certainly the killer. And that's not to say that you people out there that are sick with diabetes and all that, you have to go see a doctor. But I always say to people, find out what you were doing right before you got the illness. Because I do believe that two things operate. You could be under terrible stress. You could put this into your body, but I'm telling you, what makes you sick more than anything is other people. Because I've seen people go right down the tubes with being with the wrong spouse, with even your own children. Don't you think Mrs. Hitler must have walked around saying, what in God's name did I ever do to have this? Try to make a list tonight of all the people you know, and on the right side of the page, put everybody you know, family, friends, acquaintances, everybody. Then make a line, and on the right side of the page, don't even think, because if you let your linear or your left brain get in there, you're just going to be all messed up. Before you even think, the first thought that comes in your mind, do they drain you? Do they lift you? Do they make you feel bad? Do they make you feel unworthy? Do they make you feel tired? And you're going to be very, very surprised at the answers you start getting. And I've even said this in lectures. People that drain you, I don't care if it's your own family, you don't have to be mean to them. Just get away from them. I have a dear friend that I love dearly, and she's not a dark soul entity. And you know what that means. And a dark soul entity is just one that's separated from God, because there's no such thing as a devil anyway. We got too many on two legs walking around in this world. But she's a very, very spiritual person. But there's something about her, because we're all electrical, there's something about her, let's say her emanation, her aura emanation, which is nothing more than a fancy word for saying your electrical emanation, is different than mine. And after I'm with her for about 2 hours, I'm ready to go to bed. So what I do is I try to see her at small intervals. I love her dearly. But don't get too judgmental and say, everybody that drains me is a negative person. But if you have a kid, when I was at the Excalibur, for instance, a woman walked up to ask me questions, because, whenever I do my lectures, I draw numbers and people line up, and I answer questions. And this woman walked up and said that she had a 46 and a 48-year-old son living at home. And what should she do? Now, honestly, that's not a question for us. I mean, anybody can answer that. I said, listen, lady, take your foot and plant it squarely in their backside and get them out. You know what she said to me? Oh no, Sylvia, they're my own flesh and blood, and they need me.